Well, you see, when I was 4 years old, I did something that I was actually punished for 30 years later. And you see, that has everything to do with why we're here tonight. It may not make a lot of sense quite yet, but it will. Just bear with me. My name is Traci Warren, and I'm a 2014 Elite Beachbody coach. I'm a mom of four, a Christian wife, and I work from home now. I homeschool full-time, so I am a full-time teacher as well. And basically, am crazy busy just like everybody else on the planet, you know? We moved from Indianapolis to Naples, Florida almost a year ago, which seems crazy. And in terms of Beachbody, I began my coaching in October of 2011. I'm a Success Club All-Star legend, which does not need to mean anything to you, but it's good. And the founder of Team Benefit, and our team is currently ranked in the top 0.0007% in the company. So basically, this team is amazing, and I could not be more proud of these people that I call my family and my friends and get to motivate and encourage and be blessed by every single day. Again, if you can mute yourself, I would really, really appreciate it. Tonight, I'm going to actually train you a little bit on 3 different things: acceptance and purpose, passion, and then also healthy generosity. But before we get there, you're probably still wondering why I got punished, right? So I'm going to fill you in. It actually doesn't really matter what I did, but what does matter is that when I was 4 years old, I got sent inside the house, and I was being mean to my little brother. And I remember standing, you know, with like the little kids stand and put their little yucky fingerprints on the glass door. I remember standing at that glass door just wanting to be out. I wanted to be with those people, with my family so badly, and I was separated. I was taken apart. I was taken away from them. And so I was punished then, and I wanted out. I wanted out of the dysfunctional family that I was growing up in. When I caught my dad doing something that was basically illegal, I wanted out. I wanted out of that situation. I wanted out of an abusive marriage years later when I had gotten into it so wholeheartedly, you know, and you never think that's going to happen to you. And I remember being basically blocked into a bathroom. And that last night that I was at the apartment, I picked up my purse as I kind of just in a daze pushed past him, grabbed my purse, walked out the door, and heard the door lock behind me. Nobody calling after me, nobody saying, stay, stay, nobody saying, can we work this out? Nobody vying or fighting for me. I wanted out, and I got out. I wanted out of corporate America. There were so many days when I was going and working. I had a non-traditional hourly type job that was really kind of flexible in terms of hours. And I also had a typical 9-to-5 job. And I remember, you know, basically just crying to and from the office, feeling trapped and wanting out because I didn't have the freedom that I wanted to make my own choices. I didn't have the freedom to control my income. I didn't respect my leadership. I wanted out. And quite honestly, I wanted, and this may be a shock to some of you, I wanted out of motherhood. When I was a new mom, after the birth of my first, I had definitely undiagnosed postpartum issues. And then after the birth of my second, it was finally diagnosed and went to a counselor, a therapist, a doctor. Basically, they said, woman, you've got to be on medication now, and you stay on it basically during your whole childbearing years. As soon as you're pregnant, you better be on that. You know, this was not just a postpartum thing. Mine was serious enough that I was being told, you've got to make sure that you keep your family safe and protected. And so I just wanted out, you know, like who vies for that? Who thinks that that's, you know, what they're signing up for? It wasn't me. So for a lot of my life, I have wanted out of situations. And for that reason, tonight, my goal is to invite you in. My goal is to share acceptance and purpose with you. My goal is to share passion and vision with you. And last but not least, a healthy generosity. Use my story and let it bless you, because I've walked a lot of miles, and hopefully somebody will not have to endure those same things as a result of me sharing my story. Okay, so we're gonna dive right in, all right? And be prepared. There are a few more stories that come with that. Right now, the screen that you see is acceptance and purpose. And here's the point in all of this. You fit. There are men and women on our team. There are people of all color. There are people of all race. There are curly hair and straight hair and short people and tall people and people at all levels of fitness and all stages of their journey. And just about all of them that look good in the pictures didn't start there. Our goal on our team is to meet people where they're at and welcome them in with open arms and help them regardless of where they're at. Again, if you would please mute your line. It's *6. I would really appreciate that because we're recording the call. Thank you so much. So who you see here, sorry, just a second. I'm gonna mute everybody. Okay, I think we're good for now. All right, so some of the people that you see here, this is just a tiny little portion of our team, and at different fun events that we have that go on, and it's amazing how when you get to choose the people that you work with, your life becomes so nice. And I was one that was stuck in a cubicle for so many days and weeks and months and years where there was just this cloud of negativity surrounding us. And it's draining. It's mentally and physically draining. So to be able to choose these individuals that you connect with, and there are people that only you will connect with. The people that I connect with are different from the people that you connect with. And so you fit and you matter and you are loved and you have a purpose in this life. And regardless of whether or not you love to exercise or not, whether or not you love to drink beer and wine and eat Cheetos or eat healthy, there's a place for you on this team because, like I said, we're all at different stages of our journey and you matter and you have a purpose and you have something that you can bless people with, and that's your story. Living your passion, to me, that equals freedom. And to me, freedom means choices. Freedom means choices in terms of how I spend my time, how I spend my money, who I spend my time with, who I spend my money on. All of these things that boil down to choices, to me, that means freedom. And when we are able to live the life that we want to and have a career that allows us to make choices, that is freedom. So I hinted to it at the last screen. There are coaches who are not passionate about exercise. There are coaches who are not passionate about eating healthy, but they are passionate about the way that they feel when they do those things and paying that forward. And that allows us to earn financial freedom, which gives us choices. So a lot of people do not make Beachbody their lives, but Beachbody allows them to live their life. So for me, I love to travel. If I could travel every week of the year and go someplace different with my spouse and with my kids, I would. That would be amazing to me. And I also would like to be able to have the finances to up and do that at a moment's notice. Or if somebody comes to me and says, hey, Traci, I'm going on a mission trip. Could you support me? And for me to be able to just take care of that, how awesome would that be? So for me personally, and I would say chances are for you, if you really step back and think about what it is that you would love most of all to do in your life, it's either going to require your time or some finances. And the Beachbody coaching opportunity allows you to use this as a tool to get there. So again, there are coaches who, like me, I don't necessarily love to get up and exercise every day at all. And I certainly love my Cheetos and Mountain Dew. Yeah, it's true. But I don't do those things every day. And I do continue to try and set a good example for my family so that they're healthy, I'm healthy, and I can help other people live their passion and buy choices, because that, again, is the ultimate freedom. To give you a couple of peeks into this, that picture on the top is the cruise ship that Beachbody basically chartered. Yes, that's the right word, chartered. We chartered that boat. It was full of Beachbody coaches that had earned the trip. And the thing that amazes me most about these Beachbody trips is that they are actually doable. I have been in other direct sales type companies, multi-level marketing, and I always thought that those were reserved for like top people or people that joined at the very beginning of the company, and so I just wrote it off as like, I'll never get to do that, unfortunately. That's nice. That's for those people. But that's not the case in Team Beachbody. That trip is for each person. You do have to hop on and register for it as soon as possible, but that is a doable trip. Very, very rewarding. And then we also went to Walt Disney World with the whole family, and that was completely covered at the yacht club for 4 days. And then on the bottom, those are the ones for me that represent my time. And to be able to have the free time to take long walks on the beach with my little man, or sit and work as I please and not have to clock in and clock out and have somebody to answer to all the time, that is freedom. So what does that look like for you? And last but not least, this critical step I feel like is just incredible. As I was putting this slide together, I got more and more excited as I was doing it, because I was like, man, this embodies all that team benefit is about. And it's a healthy generosity. So if you see up in the top with the blue tank top on, that is my coach, Aaron Young, with Sean T. You may recognize him as one of our celebrity trainers. And that was not too long ago when she went on the Cancun trip. And that was another of our free trips that is earned. And so anyway, I had introduced Erin to the Beachbody Challenge a little over 3 years ago. And she said no a couple of times. Finally, she did need to lose some baby weight. She was still nursing, so kind of concerned about that. But we went to high school together. So finally she was just like, okay, I trust you. Let's do this. And she lost, it was at least 20 pounds, and is now a fitness instructor. She's in her last year of teaching full-time. She has her master's degree, but has exceeded her teaching income with Team Beachbody. So now she is not going to be teaching anymore, and she gets to stay at home full-time with her kiddos. And that is incredibly special to her, because for I think her oldest is 5 years old. She hasn't been able to get him to school and get him back and all of these different things and be the parent that she wants to be. So now she has choices. Again, it comes back to those choices. So she got excited, started sharing her results, and told her friend Erica about it. And Erica's in the middle there, and that was also on the Cancun trip. Erica now, and they teach together. Erica's in her last year of teaching because she decided to take the Beachbody challenge, use the workouts, use Shakeology, start to feel incredible and amazing, and then start to share it with other people and pay it forward. And so now she's going on the free trips. Then she goes and tells her friend, and also happens to be a teacher, Natalie, about the Beachbody challenge. And so Natalie does the same thing. And it goes on and it goes on and it goes on. And it is this ripple effect of just organic passion where we are sharing what's working for us. And if people are ready for it, great. If they're not ready for it, I do not have the time to drag anybody. And you will find that when you continuously add value and add value and add value to others, regardless of purchase, it will come back to you tenfold, and your business will increase, and more importantly, you're going to grow as a person and your life will be so fulfilled. A rising tide lifts all ships. Do you care if I just tell you a little bit about where we are as a team and what it takes to hang out with us, okay? So first of all, there are currently about 288,000 Team Beachbody coaches. And we are currently in the US and Canada. We will be opening in other countries in the future. So we're just at the tip of things. To have a real voice on the obesity epidemic just in the United States, we would need at least 1 million coaches. So this is a tiny little voice, and we've got a lot of work to do. Right now, for 2014, there were 199 elite coaches, myself being one of them, my coach Erin that you saw being one of them. Basically, that means that this team rocks. And we've got the training that takes you step by step by step. And we look at what your goals are. We don't set goals for you. We look at what your goals are, what your dreams are, and then break it down and help you take it step by step to get there. So basically, you pick your path. Your business means your rules. We're not here to babysit you or drag you along. You're a business owner, and so you get to decide where you fall into things. Are you a discount buyer? That means basically that you want to drink Shakeology on a regular basis. You don't want to sell anything. You don't want to tell a soul about this. You want to be a closet Shakeology drinker, basically. And you would like, though, the approximately $15 a month on savings, and then 25% off of any of the other products, like the workouts that come out, supplements, and that kind of thing. We get 25% off. You may start to teeter as a hobby coach. And you also, that some people are stay-at-home moms, some people have full-time jobs, some people have other part-time jobs. Whatever the case there is, if you're not a discount buyer and you're not a business builder, you're kind of in between, and you're doing this when it's convenient for you, that would be what I would call a hobby coach. You love the products and you like to talk about it, but you don't necessarily have goals that you want to work toward. That would be a hobby coach. So you're earning some extra income. And finally, a business builder. You're going all in. You know that you're not there yet, and you really don't know what you're doing, but you know that you can learn, and you want to build that life of freedom and choices. And you can, like I said, go in between these. And what I found in my own personal story was that I started as a discount buyer. I had done numerous other at-home businesses and didn't want to have anything to do with it, nothing, because I had been burned bad. And so I had my coach promise me that I was not going to have to do anything. And she said, no, Traci, you don't. And so literally, you can see on my pay stubs, it says 0, 0, 0. And then I shared Shakeology with one person 1 month. And so I got about a $30 check in the mail. And then it just started to grow and grow and grow. So I was one that started as a discount buyer, became a hobby coach, but not for very long before things started to click in my head and it really started to make sense, and I turned into that business builder. But that happens at different times for each and every person. Some people come in as a business builder even though they've never done the Beachbody challenge. They know the reputation, they trust the coaches that are bringing them in, and some people join as a hobby coach, some people, like it's all over the place. So what I would like to do now is to basically open this up for questions, and I know that there are a lot of details that you may still feel like you need that I haven't covered. And with that being said, you can type them into the chat. Let me see if I can find the chat. Or you can unmute yourself and simply use voice and ask any questions. I didn't cover what it costs to join. I didn't cover what my pay structure looks like or how we make money, but I want to talk about the things that are most important to you. So let's hear it. All right, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, and if there are no questions, then we will wrap up and you can ask your questions to your coach. But you've got me. I'm ready to answer anything and everything. If you've got any objections or fears, I'm willing to address that as well. How many hours do you think needs to be invested to make it a business? That's kind of all over the board as well. I think for a lot of people, it takes them a while to learn how to work smart and not work a lot. For me, it took me making a lot of mistakes for a long time. Finally, I've got systems in place that I can pass down to other coaches and teach them so that people can get it up and running a lot faster in less time per day than what I had to spend. The other thing is that there are still a good number of very top coaches who work full time, and some of them kind of have some wacky business hours as well. I know one coach that has to work, still 12-hour days and that kind of thing. And so it is a matter of having those systems that are greased and oiled and running like a machine so that you are, maybe you're able to copy paste, and be able to laser focus in a short amount of time versus doing a little here and a little there. So yeah, for me personally, because I'm a full-time homeschool mom, I start school about 10 or 10:30 in the morning. So I'll work a couple of hours in the morning, and then I might post or respond to a message or two at lunchtime. And then after we get out of school at 4:30 or 5, then I'll do maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes worth before dinner. And then I try and spend the rest of the evening with the family until bedtime. And then I stay up after they go to bed. And instead of watching TV all the time or, I don't know, knitting or crocheting I would have done before, now I'm working my business and paying off debt and building our financial future. So let's see, next question. Can you talk about the 3 vital behaviors, priorities of building the business? Okay, so there are 3 things that really are crucial. And in the regular Beachbody challenge, we do try and help you get used to doing those things. The first one would be to be a product of the product. So what that means is to use the products, make sure you know and believe what they believe in them, because you're not going to be able to tell anybody else with passion about something that you don't think works. So Shakeology every day, getting in a workout at least, 4-5 times a week on a regular basis. That's the point, is to be on that journey. So that's the first one, is to be a product of the product. The second one is to learn and grow in some type of personal development. And to me, that is the most important of all three of these. It is going to make or break your business, how much personal development that you get. And there are so many books and podcasts and audios and trainings and YouTube videos that we can pass on that will help you grow as a person. That's the most powerful thing that I see happening in our coaches' lives, is how much they grow as a person. And then the last one is sharing this amazing opportunity and simply paying it forward. So that would be where the healthy generosity falls into play, and just not being afraid to talk about it and share your own journey, share what you're doing, and see who's curious and see who would have any desire to come along with you. What kinds of things will be covered in the 60-day Coach Basics group? Okay, so first of all, there are different Coach Basics groups that vary in terms of times. So depending on which coach invited you to the call, they may be running a 60-day one. There are coaches that run 30-day groups. There are coaches that run 21-day Coach Basics groups. And I'm sorry to make that confusing. It just depends on what that coach sees working for their team. So to cover in a nutshell what goes on, regardless of how the length of the time that the Coach Basics group is, and to fill in the rest of you that have no clue what I'm talking about, Coach Basics is what we call basically our onboarding process, and getting you from not having a clue about coaching to knowing what you're doing, because you would not go to start working at a fast food restaurant and expect to be the manager next week, right? You have to train, you have to make a few mistakes, you have to make a lot of mistakes to get there, right? And so Coach Basics gives you on-the-job training day by day by day. And you will learn, and I'm speaking from myself, but the most important things that I teach my coaches in Coach Basics are, and I've got my little handy dandy post-it here, how to find time to work this business, because most of us always think that we're busy, right? I thought I was busy having one child. Now I've got 4 and run a business. Like, what was I thinking that I was busy? So finding time in your busy schedule and learning what to do during that time and how to make the most of it. What to do when your warm market decreases, because, I don't know, maybe you only have 60 friends on Facebook. You're thinking, what the heck am I going to do after I talk to all 60 of these people, So we talk about that. We talk about cost and objections and the fears that come up when you're not sure what to say. We give you training on that. We talk a lot about just building your self-confidence, because that is a game changer. And fear of judgment. A lot of times people will come in as a brand new coach and they're afraid of what other people are going to say about them, what they're going to think about them. We talk a lot about that and build you up to help you understand that we're doing something different so that we can live a different kind of life. And I'm okay with that. If somebody wants to whisper behind my back, and literally I had family members whisper behind my back, I could hear them in the other room, in the kitchen, whispering about me. And that's my family members, And so I help my coaches deal with that kind of thing and understand that now I'm going on the free trips and now I'm paying off debt while they're still in the same situation that they were 3.5 years ago. right? And then we also do training on moving from the learning environment to the doing environment. And that way you're supported as you are getting your feet wet and getting out there and starting to reach your initial goals. Most coaches will have the initial goal of just getting their own Shakeology cost covered. And I think that's an amazing first goal to have. After that, one of my first goals was to pay somebody just once a month to come and clean my house. And so you just keep adding on to what your goals are and how many people you want to help each month. And maybe you want to go on a date night once a week. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe you want to pay your car payment monthly. Maybe you want to dream big and fill up your child's college education fund. So basically, we find out what your story is, we find out what your goals are, what your dreams are, we break those down into daily tasks and then give you the confidence and the education and the support to do those things. Hope that answers that question. Or I could spend the next 60 days talking about it. Anything else? We need like the Jeopardy song playing. All right, I'll give it just one more minute and then wrap it up. All right, well, thank you guys so very much for being on tonight. I totally appreciate you allowing me to share my story and some of the stories of others. And I pray that you will consider joining Team Beachbody. Regardless of the coach that invited you here, we are basically all under this one team called Team Beachbody, and it's an absolute blessing and a pleasure to have been able to spend the evening with you. Please reach out and ask the coach who invited you whatever questions that you've got. I know there are a ton of things that we didn't address tonight, so don't hesitate to be curious and ask them lots of questions, and they are going to be more than happy to answer those for you. You're always welcome to shoot me a message as well, and I'm on Facebook as Traci A. Warren. So facebook.com/Traci, T-R-A-C-I-A Warren, and I look forward to meeting you and welcoming you onto the team. Have a good night, everybody.